Hey everybody, welcome back to Fans of Something and another video in the 31 days of spooky videos. Today I'm posing a question to every single person that watches the video and feels inspired to answer the question. The question is, so look, we're in the month of October, and in the month of October, there's one thing that we can all collectively agree on. It's horror month, right? When it comes to the films we love, the movies we feel inspired to watch, more often than not, we're going to be watching a horror film or a subgenre in the horror film. So, having said that, what is, and I'm asking 100% genuine here. I want authentic answers here. I don't want fluffy, oh, it's one of. No. It's not one of. And I'm going to give you my answer too. What is the scariest film ever made? Everybody's measuring stick is going to be different. What's scary to you? What is the definition of scary? To me, the definition of scary means what makes something truly scary. It could happen to me. So, with that in mind, movies like Paranormal Activity, movies like The Blair Witch Project, movies like Barbarian, movies like Killer Clowns from Outer Space, movies like Us, movies like any of the classic Universal Monsters movies, all those films, in one way, shape, or form, can be interpreted as scary. Whether it's in the film or it's an aspect of the film, it makes it scary. So if you look at the Universal Monsters, what makes those movies scary to me is how old they are. Everybody I'm looking at in those films, dead. Sorry, I had to sit down. The lighting was annoying me. But what I was getting at is movies like that are scary, but not for the reason I'm asking right now. Could it happen to me? None of those Universal Monsters movies could happen to me. Blair Witch Project, Paranormal Activity, that's all the paranormal stuff, and that's so open to interpretation. That's so, you either believe in it or you don't believe in it. It's never happened to me, and I don't think it ever will happen to me, something like that. So, having said that, Us, right, doppelgangers, stuff like that, like, I'm sure someone out there looks like me, but coming to the core of the question, the scariest film ever made, to me, and I may have said this once or twice on the channel before, and I understand that it has certain elements that apply to maybe what I was talking about with some of those other films. But at the core, The Shining. Now, you know, if you follow the channel, you know that The Shining is my all-time favorite horror film. And I'm putting my bias aside. It's not because it's my favorite horror film that I find it the scariest. It just so happens that my favorite horror film, I truly believe, is the scariest film ever made. For a bunch of reasons. One, it can happen to me. It can happen to you. It has happened to people. The performances, Jack Nicholson, unhinged, the most terrifying he's ever been, only up against maybe something like Joker. The subject matter, the imagery, the score. Right now, of course, we're dealing with stuff that involves, you know, you've always been the caretaker, so now there's like a paranormal edge right there, and time is involved, and, you know, what does that all mean? All of these questions involve things that aren't going to necessarily apply to the average person on a day-to-day basis. However, the thing that does apply and is making it so incredibly unnerving and creepy and chills you to the core is a father and a husband wants to kill his wife and his son. That is absolutely to the core of humanity, terrifying. The person that you trust the most, the person that should, right, should want to protect you, that should want your well-being, you know, all these things, doesn't, is literally coming after you, in this case, with an axe. And believes that the end justifies the means. It is so incredibly freaky. Not to mention the fact that it is an older film, right? It's not a more modern film, although I guess if you ask certain people, they'll say, no, it's pretty modern. I don't think it's modern. You know, we're what? We're past 40 years, 90, 2000. Yeah, we're well past 40 years. We're coming up on 50 years pretty soon with The Shining. And so that also adds to it, right? The feel of the film, right? And a lot of people in that film, you know, whether it's in front of the camera or behind the camera, like I said with the monster movies, have passed on. So it adds a creepy element to it right there. But man, I'll tell you, there hasn't been a film that has genuinely stuck with me and made me want to ask this question, right? The whole idea of this is we've all been asked what's one of the scariest movies, and we always say one of. No. This is my definitive answer. If I ever come across a movie that tops this in terms of the freak factor, I'll be absolutely blown away. And something like Dr. Sleep, you know, doesn't, because it is modern, because it has more of a I don't know, it just has more of a Hollywood feel, whereas The Shining somehow doesn't, even though it really is, but it doesn't. But something like Dr. Sleep, you know, it's a great movie, but it doesn't do what The Shining did to me. So, now you know my answer. And if it's the same for you, as long as it's genuine, tell me down in the comments. And if it's different, tell me down in the comments. I am really curious to see, because it's all going to be different for everybody, right? But if we're using the measuring stick of it could happen to you, it really can happen to you. Not you know, Paranormal Activity, maybe if I film myself at night, I'll see something, like I'll see a door move. No. You know for 100% this could really happen to you. What's the scariest film ever made? Let me know down in the comments. Hopefully you enjoyed this different kind of video, right? It's not a list. It's not a like a recommendation, or it's just kind of like a free-form talk. And I'm curious to see what everybody says when it comes to what is the scariest film ever made. Let us know down in the comments. We'll see you again for another day in the 31 days of spooky videos. If you're enjoying these, also let us know down in the comments. We're enjoying making these. It's very ambitious, but we're excited for it. Oh, and also, let me turn it here, if you would like to do the thing we never ask you to do, it's right there. And if you would like to watch another one of our videos, it's right there. So, it's up to you. And, okay, it's gone. And until we see you tomorrow for another video, keep being fans of something.